Hello everyone, Chazilla again, and guess what? This is part 3 of my Project Warvator game idea. Now, as you can tell, this part is easily the longest due to how much pages and content it contains. So, well, let's just get through this, shall we? So, let me ask you this. Are you ready? No? Oh, well, I'll just pause here, because I'm going to start anyway. Let's start off with Mr. Dozy. Mr. Dozy is a deranged lunatic that is known for causing a lot of mass murder with goofishly insane behavior and antics. The level and mayhem he's in is the level a normal day at the park. Alright, now these are stuff that you would see when you pause the game. Okay, so the gas mask, and the daily task, yeah, those stuff are scratched, but the inventory, the character bios, and are you sure you want to leave? Yeah, I'm keeping them. Oh, and the CN's website, yeah, that's another ARG used to promote the game. Next, we have the Absolute Header, or TA for short. The Absolute Header is a failed government experiment by the Soviets that takes the form of Header from Total Drama. She was a group of 3 headers and someone named Veronica. They were kidnapped by a Russian spy and were experimented on, but when the experiment failed, thanks to a scientist being a massive Header fan and mucking around, the government building exploded and the Absolute Header was created. It has mass brain power, high-powered skills. Oh, she also has the suit of the skin of Blanley as disguise. She can also pull Kamehamehas, shoot acid spit, and turn stuff like herself into PNGs, JPEGs, and GIFs. And anyways, here are the headers, and Veronica, which she's made out of, and her suit of Blanley. Oh, and when I came up with this character, I found this fact, which was a complete, utter coincidence. So, I guess you can say an unintentional reference to a piece of trivia on the Total Drama Wiki. And it's about how that Header's name might be a reference to a film called Headers, which revolves around a group with the same name as her, and also stars a girl named Veronica. So you might be thinking, where'd I got the idea of it? Well, I was surfing around the FNF wiki, and I looked it up a wiki page called Headers. And on that page it led to the header from Total Drama. And that was it. Pretty crazy, right? Anyways, let's just move on to the next one. This is Dak. Dak is Donnie's boyfriend and the secondary boss in Donnie's level. He's also Donnie's partner in crime. We have Collins, the enemy guy. Collins is the tortured person that's born with a permanent smile and eyes that can't blink. He spends most of his life trying to end his pain, but no matter how hard he tries, he's to do it, he always fails. Alright, and now we have another major level in the CM subplot, which is the power outage level. Specifically the circus part. And the before circus part stuff, that is currently being reworked on. Now let's begin with the first set of people you encounter. Mad is a Max and Chad hybrid, and is basically deaf. He basically acts just like Green from Rainbow Friends, which is a Roblox game. Which if you see heard of Rainbow Friends, I might recommend and give it a good try. Okay? And try to know all the drama behind it. Now let's move on. Spirits. Spirits Red Star are during one of the Orbsman segments and chase at the end with CM and her friends. You might be wondering, what are they gonna do in one of those Orbsman segments? Well, it's simple. In it, you have to avoid traps while running from Orbsman. And if you step on those traps, the spirits will enter your body and possess you. Just like what they did to Pomni. And here is Orbsman. Orbsman is a major boss in the Blackout level. The first time we see Orbsman, he begins to chase just before you have to find levers to progress. The second, it's through the hell part of Mildenhall Manor. And the final boss is at the end, where you need to find levers to escalate to each room. And by final fight, I mean final fight with him. Now we have the Angel. The Angel was a monster you only face in the Mildenhall Manor segment. The head acts like ambush from doors, and the body hides in pipe holes throughout the manor. And when it's time to hunt, it pops out of one of the random pipe holes and starts running, ending by entering another random pipe hole. Not the one it came out of. Next up, we have the Gloinks. There are 3 types of Gloinks with their own mechanics. The first of these are pesters. They pop out of random holes and start biting and hurting the crap out of you. But if you attack them, they will run off. The other types are trappers. They lay around on the ground, and when the player steps on them, they bite them. And finally, we have mechs. They walk around, but when they see you, they charge. But they crash. But while they're charging at you, they crash and fall over. And finally, we have the Gloink Queen. The Gloink Queen is another boss in the circus segment of the Blackout level. She's basically reduced to a factory by CM, which was originally intended, but now it's PM. And don't worry, I'm gonna get to her, so stop worrying. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna talk about PM in a later entry, but let's get back to after the Gloin Queen. Anyways, PM reduced her to a factory to make these crazy ass Gloink monsters, and you basically put her out of her pain in the final boss with Orbsman, and the part about before the chase at the end, yeah, it's now all changed to before the fight. We'll fight with PM at the end, and before another fight with Phenomenon before the final chase at the end. So yeah, I hope you got all that, because if you don't, well, better or try to put that out clearly. Up next, we have Cluster Controlled Jenny. Cluster Controlled Jenny is Jenny Wigman, but possessed by the Cluster, and in the Project Warvator world, CM. Vex has made a deal with CM to help control XJ9, and this time with no means to break free. Also, CM left the little hint to show she was in on it. It's the feint on Jenny's head. Up next, we have Waffly Creamy. Waffly Creamy is a lovey-dovey waffle ice cream man to the children, where he gives people buy one get 4 free deals. He's in the level you'll get to the ice cream waffle fan obby, which is a parody of those old Roblox games from the 2000s, like 2008 and 2009. Now we have another pack of characters. In fact, it's a pack of species called Dingo Bingos. DBs are dark crystal demons that hide in crystal infested areas, and when someone's near, they pop up and hunt. They can be found in the mining simulator level. Up next, we have Lusty. Lusty is Donnie's girlfriend and other partner in crime. Yes, she has two boyfriends, which means that Donnie has one boyfriend and one girlfriend. And so that technically counts as him being bisexual. She is also the other secondary boss in Donnie's level. And this is the original infected couple. And as you can tell, I wasn't satisfied of how the original turned out. So I prepared a new one later on. This next character is originally from an FNF mod, which and this part is a tribute to said FNF mod. This is Audria. Audra is a peppy, red-headed, hot tub streamer that's on a quest to fight for a better platform from greedy corporations. She originally came from an FNF mod called FNF Twitch Split. And if you're a part of the FNF community, then this is probably one of the more lesser-known FNF mods. In fact, if you head to my channel, I did a Let's Play on that mod. And in Project Warvator, she joins the fight with the player in the Elon Sucks fight level. And speaking of Elon Musk, next up is Elon Musk. Elon Musk is a fallen angel that resides in the remains of the deceased Twitter. He's the throat of the level, where you meet Audria. Next we have Killy. Killy is a cruel, deranged monster. She's always been like this. Is from on the day she was born. She even dedicates a whole show to how much she loves torture. Fun fact, she's based off Mrs. Robinson from The Amazing World of Gumball. Up next, we have a hostile species in Crit Bombs. Crit Bombs are deranged animals. The Kane, despite looking cute, is basically a ruling monarch controlling his subjects to be deranged and psychotic. He's in the on Battlefield inspired level, the Bomb War. And yeah, if you know Bomb on Battlefield from Super Mario 64, well, take that and make it a whole lot of crazier. Alright, now we have a Five Nights at Freddy's level, which is based on the original game, called One Night at Tinky's. And we start off with Tinky himself. Tinky is a haunted man-sized wind-up toy. He's one of the four monsters you face in the One Night at Tinky's game. He basically acts like the one and only Freddy Fazbear. Up next we have Jackie. Jackie is another one of the four monsters you face in the One Night at Tinky's level, and is a haunted man-sized Jack-in-the-Box. This time he acts like a Foxy the Pirate Fox. Alright, now before we get to this one, I should point something out. I'm starting to feel like the way I'm describing them, these levels feel less like levels and more like mini games. Now, where was I? Oh yes, the third character in the One Night at Tinky's mini game. Yeah, that feels more appropriate. Up next, we have Princess Game Boy. Just like the other three, don't worry, we'll get to the last one. She's a haunted man-sized Game Boy that's the shape of a princess. She hides in dark areas, only running back to where she started when she gets flashed. And up next, we have Snakey. Snakey is the final monster of the One Night at Tinky's minigame. He basically hunts through the vents and so the level. Alright, now this character was originally created by Code BHB, and is also a tribute to Code BHB. This is RD.LUA. RD.LUA is basically Gia from FNF if she is basically sick of all the mods that put her life through a living hell. She's also friends with GF.exe. She has her own Project Warvator level where you fight her and her friends. And don't worry, we'll get to her friends in a future installment. Oh, and also, here's a couple of row gallery. Here's a little row gallery of her. As for these ones, well, this is basically RDE disguised as Princess Peach. Even though they're having a demonic version in a Princess Peach. Yeah, creepy. Alright, next up we have the rival of the hosts and the secondary threat, head of the game, Mikey. Mikey is an absolutely petty guy. He's Empathy's Chip, and Hello Boss's ex from high school. Okay, just remove the high school part. That is scrapped. But him being the ex of them is still non-scrapped. Okay, got it? Okay, moving on. He's less wealthy, talented, and popular than them, and always rubs it in their faces. So he's basically Squilliam. However, instead of being rich, he's poor. Or anyways, he's pretty crazy. Ways this him being completely talentless than them drove him pretty crazy, see, and even made him a bit of a sadist. He has a lot of levels where he serves as the main boss. Also, he'll attack anyone that tries to get rid of his rivals because he's the only one that can get rid of them. Yeah. Talk about a little deranged. Now we have Bootleg Chip. Bootleg Chip is a malfunctioning bootleg robot created by an obsessive fan that takes the form of Chip. After the fan and died, the soul possessed the bootleg robot and is now trying to be Chipper. Up next, we have Lilas. Lilas is a deranged woman that spends all her time drawing paint and doing confidential stuff with herself in boxes. She also draws minions of people she met in her past and open portals. Minigame location, Catch Lilas. And as you can see, those are Lilas's paint minions. Now we have Grodd. Grodd is a rock-looking monster that has a huge craving for organs. The instrument and not the body functions. He appears in the Temple Run inspired minigame, Not My Piano. Now we have Quick It Bob Resignation Pants. Quick It Bob is an eldritch horror god / analog horror's son that takes the form of SpongeBob, the resignation incident version. It's capable of distorting the atmosphere into something dark, cause glitches, and mimic voices, which it's proven by its most famous and well-known victim, Armand Raphael Ramsey. QB also has the power to turn reality into a wide void, and the inhabitant into doodles. With these powers, he has fooled and killed millions. He also appears in the same level you face Analog with a few other enemies. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Up next, we have Word Girl. Oh, the Noah Butler version. For those who don't know who Noah Butler is, he's basically known for Fury videos. Now, well, you see, for this, I head over to a wiki page, and for you might wondering where that wiki page is. Well, go ahead. Well, I'll leave a little screen cap for it, Rich, when I'm done describing. Long ago, the one above all sensed a dangerous reality-warping entity named Word Girl. To keep her from wrecking the multiverse, he contained her in her own universe to make sure she would grow. Word Girl spent her time being raised into a moral hero, taught to restrain her powers and violence for the sake of the audience of a kids show. But the show she was featured in was cancelled. her connection to the one of all was severed, and she was left to rot in her universe. Her Project Warvator level will be keen intense, and it takes place after the end of her origin video. Now we have Starnet. Starnet is a chill humanoid-like creature. He runs a shop called Starnet at Snatchnet, where energy and health, as well as others, are sold. Our next character is the Doodle Boss. The Doodle Boss is a living drawing of Teleboss that came to life using a black magic spell. He's basically Teleboss if he was very crazy with a bit of sadism thrown in. Up next we have Evil Teen. Evil Teen is empathy if she was only one person, Kilgore. She's also the leader of the anti-hosts, made out of bootleg Chip, her, and of course the Doodle Boss. Up next we have 2023ma. 2023ma is a demonic doppelganger that takes the form of Velma Dinkley from the 2023 Scooby-Doo reboot. She has the ability to infect people with rogue humor, cynical and selfish behavior, and racist behavior. It can also make people cringe so hard they explode. Now we have Caillou Animate. Caillou Animate is Caillou possessed by the eldritch god of Go Animate, which he made a deal with after years of being grounded and being tortured by his family, friends, girlfriends, and others. He now runs Ghost City with an iron fist. Up next, we have Zenfar. Zenfar is an alien vampire that can brainwash his victims into doing his evil deeds after he sucks up their blood. He also sparkles in the sun instead of burning up. Next up is Taya. Taya is an animation brain rot user, or was, before her career ended by one bad day. During the recording of a Grimace Shake Taya Adventure 5 video, she accidentally drank a beverage of black goo instead of a Grimace shake. After the incident, her channel was booted off of YouTube. Now she roams the abandoned studio, drinking Grimace shakes and playing with herself. Wispar. Wispar is a junkyard seller that spends his time trying to sell recycled garbage to players for a cheap price. Up next, we have Slamgar. Slamgar is a robotic demon from an alternate universe that feeds off the flesh of literally everything made out of flesh. He's on a goal to wipe out all parallel dimensions. Up next, we have Analog Orange. Analog Orange is a copy of the annoying Orange created by Danebo for funny skits. But after her purposefully killing Danebo, he discovered the power to control knives. With these powers, he has killed millions and gained godlike powers. Also, look up Annoying Orange, Analog Orange Saga. But him having his own Project Warvator level, yeah, that was scratched. But he's now in the same level with Quick Bob and Analog. Moving on to Rockra. Rockra is a demonic eldritch god that possesses a rock hawk with a creepy-looking face. He uses his power to brainwash victims in his club, so one day he'll break out of his rock form and take over the universe. He's found in the Cult of Rockra level. Next is Fatal.ai. Fatal.ai is a strange anomaly. He's always appearing on random levels in different places, and in unexpected spots in different sizes. I am Grace. I am the true Apex. This is his second form. Now we have Purple Girl. Purple Girl is basically the female version of Purple Guy. If the name wasn't obvious. He is just as crazy as Purple Guy is. This character was originally created by Examination. Gromlik. Gromlik is known for having an eternal smile and is trying to prove she isn't a monster. But she fails every time. She also runs a failing perfume company called Breezers. And finally, we have the updated infected couple. Oh. Now, and for those who don't know, the infected couple is literally a player and girlfriend from the Game Tunes YouTube channel. And here is the new lore. After years since the last FNAF Logic video girlfriend appeared in, GF thought she would never see Player again, until one day she saw Player. Finally happy being reunited with Player, to make sure her Player never leaves her again, she summoned a genie from a parallel dimension to make her wish come true. But when it came true, it backfired. GF became a yandere and Player became a tortured one. They both have also gained the ability to turn themselves into 8 feet tall all creatures, as well as developing aggressive behavior. This also caused their skin to go pitch black. Not even trying to be racist, but you get the idea. After the backfiring, they took their anger and pain out on all their loved ones, which meant all the others were wiped out, leaving them as the only ones left in the Game Tunes world. And here are the original sketches for them, which will be reused for their 8 feet tall forms. Alright, now we are moving on to some additions to the warehouse level, which, if you remember, is a major level in this CM subplot. So we start off with a mini-boss at the end in Proto-Hi-J, a hybrid of all of J's prototypes that went way off the deep end. After snapping, they fused into one monster of insanity, which is now repurposed for the security. Up next, we have the monsters that appear throughout the whole level, and I mean the entirety, even in the Copper 9 segment. Oh, and in order, beginning after the intro, Copper, A, H, A, blah, 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 blah. Basically, in order, the imposters under the text. Because these are chunks. Fun fact, those two on the bottom are modeled after Pastra and Lankman, which are from a YouTube channel, and most of them are based on a YouTube channel called Skila. Can you find them? Because if you dare to do it, look up Skila AI in the search bar. That right there, as you can see, is a chunk nest. And now it's time for the lore. Chunks are glitch clones that came out horribly wrong. They're basically a disgusting mess. Chunks basically start out as a weird liquidy fluid, then come out of spikes as more uncanny and nightmarish. Then chunks and start popping out of spikes, then start to charge at the player. These next are basically obstacles, as once one pops, you gotta get rid of it by blasting it, as long as you can avoid and kill the chunks coming out of the nests. Fun fact, the chunks are basically created to mock AI art. Up next, we have Goosen. Goosen will basically start to charge at the player with the sounds of his chainsaw when the player hears the chainsaws and sees Goosen, he'll start to retreat. If not, he'll kill. This here, what you're looking at, is the reference sheet I took for Goosen. Alright, now we have Oozeworks. While Goosen was based on on a sketch Goose made. Whose works it is basically made by me. Oh, and ignore the whole stuff or all that text to the right of her, because that's basically overly complicated stuff saying do not. They're special enemies, so if you attack them, it won't kill them. The girlfriend of Goosen, and Ooze works is basically his opposite. She'll silently sneak up on the player here and try to bite them with a hole in her tummy. I don't know why I wrote in mouth there, but I meant to say a tummy because you can see. But when you turn around, she instead stands still instead of running off like Goosen. Up next, we have Pombot, an envious security robot that loathes the chunks for replacing her as the warehouse's security system. She hatches a diabolical plan to get her revenge. She plots and a plot throughout out the level to get rid of the chunk's security guards that work in the warehouse. So when they're out of the picture, she can try to kill the player for herself, because her plan involves her manipulating the players to kill all the player bots. So when that's done, she can finish it off. After her plan succeeds, she then spends the entire Copper 9 section hunting the player down. Her attacks, charging out of a dark area with glowing eyes and charging, setting off alarms which set off sentinels and murder birds, and doing an end scream alerting enraged via Uzi AI voice, as well as an insanity. Anyway, the other enemy you face are murder birds. Murder birds are the bird equivalent to the sentinels, but unlike the sentinels, they have more interesting mechanics. These range from running at the player while trying to impale them with the beak, flying around, dropping acid poop from the butt, and leaping down from a high area, a soaring, trying to bite the player. Anyways, this was the source image for the murder bird design, which is Enraged by Sturgill, which is a tribute. Is that a segue? I think it is. This next character is one that appears throughout the entire Copper 9 section, as well as a pawn in Zien's hands. Enraged. Enraged is basically and when he let all his trauma throughout the series go to his head from the loss of Uzi and V. In the warehouse level, specifically the Copper 9 section, he basically attacks by appearing anytime he wants. His mechanics teleporting behind the player, grabbing it by its arm and throwing it, sending in the player you're flying with the solver, blasting a key, going into null mode and multiply the nearest and deadliest thing to kill the player. Your examples: a chunk, a gun, a knife, and a spear. So to get rid of him in null mode, find a costume and he'll fall for it. Then kick his privates. And in case if you don't know, this version of N came from a comic created by Sturgill, Enraged. And this is the reference sheet I chose when creating N. Also, also, the inclusion of Enraged is a tribute to Sturgill for spending so much hours of hard work into creating this fan comic, as well as the next character. Next up, we have Sin, Enraged version, which is another character that appears in the Copper 9 section and the last addition to the warehouse level. the more sadistic and intimidating version of Sin. In the warehouse level, she has the same abilities as her brother, which is the appearing anytime she wants on attack. Now, here are her mechanics: shooting weird trees with tentacles, trying to impale the player, slamming a solver into the ground, making the same weird trees with if tentacles come out, releasing husks and murder birds, jump scaring the player, impersonating a player, dropping upping a chunk or a sentinel, throwing her brother at the player, throwing black holes. Her brother does that too. Forgot to put that, and making a hologram to trap the player. Oh, and when you reach the end, and the final boss with Zien, yes, and she brings out Enrage and Enrage Sin to fight you. And this is the reference sheet I took when making Sin's design. Oh, and here's a little sketch of N's Nolan form and the husks that Enrage it and brings out. And they're basically reskinned husks. And they're basically, reskinned chunks. Also, they're lifeless. It's murder drone husks. That's which is in the name. Husks. Oh, and also, here is an Insanity redesign. Now we're getting into monsters the player faces in CM's first level. Starting off with the secondary villain of the level, the evil Big Tops. The now used by CM, evil Big Tops were CM's original PDC. New name will later be revealed. And if you guys remembered, that meant to say Psychotic Digital Circus Squad, but now it's called the .mbp Tops. You already know that. Members before some certain others came along. They spent most of the level hunting the player down, but it's by force. Because CM has full control over their bodies. The worst part, they're aware of this and are in pain. This culminates in a softball match where the player has to win 3 rounds of baseball. After surviving the 3 rounds, it ends with a gun shootout. Next up, we have Disappearing Guy. He pops up in random spots in the level, like a random doorway popping out of the vents or doors, or charging at and nearly killing them and disappearing without a warning. Usually in the middle of a scare. He also has faces during his jump scare. He also has different faces during his jump scares, which you can see on the left. Also, fun fact, some of the faces are references to the SpongeBob episode Old Face Freeze. Next up, we have Maine. Maine basically feasts on people's assumptions. He walks around dropping main detectors. If the detectors see you got 5 seconds to take them out. If you miss the countdown, the detectors put a tracking device sending Maine after you. However, there's still a way to survive. To survive, you need to find in a locker nearby, get in, and your Playbot head will smash the tracking device, causing Maine to lose track of you. Next up, we have Mel, now known as Mel 2751. and her backstory is pretty much scrapped. However, she's still the vengeful, full, full, clone, one of Mel, destined to get revenge on CM, for making her life a living hell. However, as long as you ignore one thing, her extremism. One, and when she sees some non people, which are basically people that have all outside of the glitch area, they view them as CM spies. But which explains why he became a boss during the half. He made okay, I wouldn't say boss during the halfway, but a major boss in the level. But, however, she ends up joining your side. Up next, we have Princess Guinevere, now known as Guinevere 3096. And I'll be honest, that description on her is now scrapped. The whole description. And because, well, I feel like it would just be better if it was just... if Guinevere 3096 is just another corrupted beat. One that was captured by Imel L37 L27 and 51. However, Guinevere 3096 returns again in the Drongo level during the Gwenos Labs part. Up next, we have SMG4, now known as SMG4 2022. SMG4 or SMG4 2022, who is okay. Well, yeah, just another corrupted copy. But as you can tell by the description, and he's a self-insert of Glitch's CEO, Luke Ichuga. Oh, yeah, I can't tell. Yeah, I can't pronounce that last name. Oh yes. In CM's first level, he hunts down the player by searching for them. When he catches the player, he starts to chase them down. What makes him unique is that he spawns memes on screen to distract the player, as well as releasing big SMG4s to hunt the player. The beats can be attacked by the player to not get killed. Now we have another corrupted copy, an SMG free, and which is based on the character of the same name. And the SMG free character that this is corrupted copy is based on is the former evil doppelganger of SMG4. Anyways, this SMG free or SMG free 0101 hunts down the player by shooting bombs out of his mouth and releasing egg dogs out of the pipe from his bottom. The egg dogs will hunt down the player and can also be attacked. Up next, we have Tarinator, and the Tarinator is another corrupted copy. But this one is basically a fusion of Taris. Anyways, she appears during the Meta Runner and the SMG4 segments. She's basically a walking blaster. As she starts trying to blast the player if she sees them. She can also still pop out of any console, so stay away if you see one. Now we have SP Meggy, now known as Meggy E3067. SP Meggy, now Meggy E3067, is a monster you face in the Sunset Paradise section, which serves as one of the tasks you got to do to reach the fight at the end. to beat the level, you have to kill Maggie by using cooking supplies to summon SMG-0 to consume her, getting a piece of a key. That, and I know what you're asking. Here's the Eggy from SMG-4. Don't worry, I'll get to her. And her mechanics, releasing a splatter shot out from her mouth and shoot ink on the ground that can slow the player down, releasing a from her mouth and trying to shoot the player. Now it's time for a lightning round. Crab, Kane, and Theo. Oh, yo. Ooh. In the Jumpstart Mania, a segment with mini game chase. Now we have and this one is part of one of the tasks. Melanie. She'll zap you with her sword, and as long as you don't touch any fruit. And for the SMG-4. And now we have Hal Monitor, which is literally a hybrid of a lot of corrupted copies. Now for this section, he drives around the tracks trying to run over the player. Then you have to complete a puzzle where you have to complete 4 tasks to get 4 key pieces. So you can trap him and go on a car or chase. Mr. Weapons and Toomp. Okay, yeah, as you can tell, this one, that is a little too overly convoluted. Well, for the new one, I'll get to that at just a few flicks, and that's for the purpose of the task where you get another key piece. I will get to that. But here's a hint. It will still involve a death cube, because if you look closely, you can see the words death cube in it. And if you see an SMG-4, you would know what the death cube is. Anyways, Mr. Weapons' new name is now Weapons 0-0-25. Anyways, we now have Princess Toadstool, now known as Princess Peach Toadstool 0665. Yes, Princess Toadstool 0665. And as you can tell, Princess Toadstool 0665 is where the third task takes place. And yeah, the whole stuff, yeah, that description is scrapped. We can just say that's another copy that is acting way too much like the thing it's based on. Why? Well, you see, this is the Peach from the It's Gotta Be Perfect movie, where after that, Peach became a complete monster. So yeah, it would still act like the monster that it is. So you have to dig through the flesh pit and evade Peach. Each way you still have the chance. In order to get at a piece of that key. And this is the last page of the lightning round, by the way. Next up, we have Niles, now known as Niles 0-0-0-24. Niles is a monster that inhabits the entire SMG-4 section. He basically acts like the searchlights from Pressure, where he uses his giant hand eye to track the player down. When Niles detects, it uses hundreds of eyes that will split it open to consume the player. For the additional mechanics are related to the God Box, which is his tail. The God Box shoots dead club members and flash drives that shoot beams that will make you stupid, and will also cause a control holes to go out of whack. But it's a limited time, which is 1 minute. And the lore, yeah, just like what it says, just another their corrupted copy. And be alright. Now we have Marty, which is which is where the new final task is. You see, Marty, he locked up Mr. Weapons and Toomp in his lair. Why? Just stop seeing, but for selfish reasons. Because he wants to be the most famous. And fame also comes power. So you have to navigate through. So to get the final key piece, you have to navigate through the lair and evade Marty. And rescue you, Mr. Mr. Weapons and Toomp. Oh, but Marty's not the only one. Because Marty is paired up with Louie and his son, which both block a path, forcing you to attack them to get them out of the way. And as you can see, Marty is in a tech. And if you get spotted, Marty starts to chase you down in his tech. And the tech shoots lasers and bombs, so yeah, better watch out. Now we have Meggy Puzzles, which is a hybrid of Meggy and Mr. Puzzles, the SMG4 version. Told you I would have got onto that version of Meggy. Anyways, if Meggy Puzzles gets you, you'll be forced into a WarioWare style minigame. If you beat it, you survive. And it will be stunned, but lose and you'll die. Also, the Meggy Head also releases leggies to attack the player. And finally, we have Mario, now known as Mario 6666. Mario 6666 is the most dangerous threat in the SMG4 section. Mechanics: trying to suck the player using his mouth, transforming into an ambush from doors-like monster, or to kill the player, trying to stare away glitch which attack the player, releasing unhinged spaghetti monsters, and finally running like he's in a marathon, which is really fast, and weaponizing Luigi's corpse, which is done via throwing it at the player. And now we have the Furry Igu Ugunen Goose. Furry Gunen and Goose, or FGs for short, are major villains in Project Warvator. They're a species of demonic entities from a parallel dimension that have the ability to take the form of any person they choose. Each demon has its own set of powers, which they use to kill people. It's said that they had to evacuate their home dimension because of a dimension hunter, and the reason why they're killing people so they can make a new home. You face off multiple Furagoos in different levels, especially the ones it's where they are the main threats. Members, we have the Tweaking Boss, the leader, the Suckyu Morningstar, the Kaiwa Squad, Trudy.png, 2023 and there's more of these Furagoos on the way. Oh, and as for the one responsible for it, is none other than Slamgar. Alright, and as you can tell, these are little updates. These updates include Brain Rot and AI Slop, which attacks all the YouTube Brain Rot and AI Slop that's been surfacing around the platform, and attack the BFs and GFs, which is a tribute to my favorite indie game, Friday Night Funkin'. Well, one of now. Okay, this one is being reviewed. Okay, I'll say it. This is basically scrapped. Why? Because I have planted a new way for this to be told. Alright, and this is the character bio yos, which is what it looks like. It shows off the character there's name, the descriptions. Here is where you see the pose of it, along with a little sketches surrounding it and some fun facts. Okay, yeah, that bar show where yeah, I'm kind of scrapping that to just at because now if you want to see a character to bio, in it you just see a, and it's basically like that search thing you see on Wikipedia pages. Oh, and the new name for CM Squad, yeah, that didn't age well because the new name is the MVP Tops. The end.